In the next 5 minutes, I'll turn your soft, supple butt cheek into a steel-hardened apartment agent. That way, you don't have to touch grass or either communicate with any other people. Welcome to Solo Quest. Today, we're gonna talk about how to find an apartment without an apartment agent at the lowest price and with the maximum benefits. And now, first things first, any apartment you want to rent. For example, the apartment costs 4,000 RMB. Cut that in half, and that's gonna be the commission fee for your apartment agent for introducing you to that apartment and doing some paperwork with some signature, etc. Just like that. First, let's just touch base on what type of apartment agent you'll encounter once you do arrive here. Now, the first one will be the IRL apartment agent. Basically, these are apartment agents that are introduced by the company. Technically, they're great because they are used to dealing with foreigners, but sometimes they do charge a bit extra here and there. And the second one will be this walk-in shop of apartment agent. You can find them almost anywhere. You can just walk into the shop and there'll be a plethora apartment agent trying to help you out because they're an expert about apartment in that certain area. And as for the second subsection of these apartment agent will be the online apartment agent. Basically, these are apartment agents that are recommended by your local coworker, as I previously mentioned on the previous video. And usually they would have a list of apartments that they've already took pictures and research in their moments on their WeChat. And the second one will be using these apps like Baike, Fang, Jie, something like that, or either Wellsy app. Basically the same thing as it is in the WeChat apartment agent, but with more options, etc. Just like that. Makes it easier for the whole process and you don't have to try to hunt for these online apartment agents. Now, as for my favorite method and today's topic, and that is the walk-in method. Basically, you just go to an AMAP app. It's kind of like Google Map, but Chinese version. And you go there and you find where you work and kind of locate all the apartment around the area. Or either if you're just walking by, you're like, hey, you know what? That's a good place to live. Just walk in and ask the apartment manager. And as for apartment size, I would totally recommend that for starters, just start with a 30 square meter minimum. Yes, you can go lower than that. The price will be cheaper, but again, your sanity will be at risk. The three types of apartment that you will encounter in Shenzhen will be the regular apartment, the studio, and also the loft. Basically, the tall apartment split in two. And next, we're gonna move on to utilities. Basically, these are ways for you to hack down on the prices even more. Now, some of the basic core requirements for any apartment will be a bed, washing machine, maybe a TV, a sofa, or either a refrigerator. If they don't provide any of these items inside the apartment by the apartment owner, you can hack the price to hell. A lot of the time when it comes to these apartments, sometimes they have a clean slate apartment for rent. And usually they would post it up for around 4,500 and expecting people to kind of haggle down. And for some people who don't know about this whole system, they can take advantage of that and set them off with a full price apartment with nothing inside. Now, if you're wondering what the timeline would probably look like for an apartment search in China, the first thing you do is the search phase. Once you do find all the apartment that you probably like, you can compile that into one huge list. I would recommend just getting 10 at a time. After that, you're gonna visit all these apartments with the shortest amount of time, possibly in just a whole day. You don't have a lot of time and you want to compile the best potential apartment that you want to live in. At this time, you're gonna be pressured by the apartment agent or the apartment owner to buy the apartment or rent the apartment right now. Now, don't fall for that trap because sometimes they would often get some of their relatives to come inside and pretend to look around the apartments and stuff like that. And this is just like a FOMO kind of thing and pressures you to sign the contract already. Because as I mentioned in my previous video, there are other factors such as noise pollution and also people screaming and stuff like that. Let's just say you found your potential candidate for the apartments. What you want to do is sign the contract. Now, this is where all the whole money issue starts to come up. First of all, if you do choose an apartment agent route, you do have to pay half of the apartment price for the apartment agent, like I mentioned previously. And not only that, you do have to pay for the management fee for that apartment. Along with that, you're gonna have to pay for the first month rent immediately for the apartment agent, and along with a 2-month deposit fee for the apartment itself. And no, we're not done yet. You have to set up these 3 basic functions for your apartment, and that is setting up your utilities. Second will be the water. Basically, you just ask the management where people usually deliver water, and you probably have to spend around 200 up to 500 RMB because you do need the machine and the water jug as well. But don't worry, the initial cost might be expensive, but to renew these water only costs around 35 per bottle up to 50 per bottle, depending on where you live. And as for the last one will be your internet, the most important thing of all. So you can watch my videos every day and you'll be spending around 800 up to 1,500 RMB to set up the internet in your new apartment. If you are a germ-free, you have to clean the apartment, which costs about 200 up to 500 RMB on how clean you are, along with other utilities based off your living needs. If you do need any help, as usual, comment down below. I would try to respond to you as soon as possible. And now I have a question for you. How much do you usually pay for an apartment in where you live right now? That's about it. So Quest, logging out.